Feeling chilly? SG Heating and Cooling. Fixing it right, day or night. SG Heating and Cooling is located at 7005 Cooley Lake Road in West Bloomfield. SG offers free estimates on new equipment and 0% interest financing for up to 18 months. Eligible equipment qualifies for rebates from Consumers Energy and DTE. SG will clean your furnace, verify it is working properly, and perform a safety inspection for only $59. SG also offers duct cleaning and sanitizing starting at $300. You can find us on the web at sgheatingcooling.com or call 248-242-6730 today for all of your heating and cooling needs. SG Heating and Cooling, fixing it right, day or night. 248-242-6730.
You're listening to CRBRadio.com. The words and opinions you are about to hear are of the hosts and do not reflect the management, sponsors, or affiliates of Cave Radio Broadcasting.
Coming to you live a stone's throw from the Motor City in courtesy of Cave Radio Broadcasting in fabulous Redford, Michigan. This is The Real Nonsense, brought to you by Melodic Retirement Services, LLC. Prepare for your future today. For more information or to make an appointment for a consultation, call Melody J. Walker at 248-301-2439. And now, here are the hosts of the show, Dr. Chris Rogers and Melody Walker. Chris?
Hey, here we go with Real Nonsense Podcast. We're live at 5, and we're virtual today. This is a great feeling. Hey, Mel, what's going on?
Hey,
so we're virtual today, and our guest today is Miss Alese Springer of Springer Inc. LLC. Did I get that right?
you did. Thank you.
Okay. So listen, Mel and I were talking before the show started. So we got one hot question we both gonna ask you about later. We're gonna save it on the road because it's a question everybody got to hear and they gotta understand it. But we're excited to know about your expertise in lending in real estate, and especially with small businesses in the southeastern Michigan market. So for our viewers, why don't you tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do, and we can take the conversation from there.
Sure. And thank you so much for inviting me and having me here. I'm so excited. As you mentioned, my name is Alese Springer. I am the CEO of Springer Inc. I have, an extensive background in finance, real estate, affordable housing, and small business. I've been involved in a lot of very high profile housing programs. And through those programs, I became very active in a community with doing financial literacy, homebuyer education, things of that nature. So it just kind of grew from there. As I mentioned, I've been in the industry about 20 years. I've done real estate, banking, both retail and development, like urban development, and also small business. So my biggest accomplishment to date is approving and fully forgiving a $10 million PPP loan. So
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, not too many people can say that. So I mean, if you got a PPP loan, great, but how about getting it fully forgiven to where you don't have to pay anything back, didn't get audited? But like I said, we'll talk more about that later.
Wow, yeah, Mel we want to talk about that.
Okay.
Yes, it's up to Alese. You want to wait till later or now? Because I have a question right now.
Well, I mean, we can definitely get right into it. I mean,
look, when it comes to money and lending and banking, at least we get in.
Okay, so the number was that 10 million, was that for one business?
That was for one business. Nope.
For one business.
That was for one business. 10 million. Yep.
Wow. So in order for them to qualify to get a $10 million loan, how much of a revenue would they have to prove on paper to do something?
It wasn't so much, it was like a combination of things. So it wasn't just the revenue. This company also had 3,000 employees too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, which plays a huge factor. In addition to that, many know if you actually took out a PPP loan, you have to show a 25% revenue reduction, throughout this pandemic. So really, this was not an easy task. Honestly, that particular deal, it took me a very, 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 very long time because I had to go through a lot of the details and had to go through payroll for 3,000 employees. Just for the forgiveness part alone, it took me 6 months.
Wow.
It took me 6 months. So, the approval process was just as long. But yeah, it was a combination of things that kind of went into that decision. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it was easy. It wasn't.
Yeah. So you're saying it took about a year?
Yep, it took about a year.
Well, hey,
that was on both ends, though.
Say it again.
But that was on both ends to actually get them approved. The approval process was somewhat easy, but the forgiveness took a lot more time because, we had to make sure that particular company did what they were supposed to do,
Right.
with the money that they got in the first draw and the second draw.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Lee. So,
Sure.
You talk to different people and everybody's an expert on everything, right? So
Yeah.
when it comes to home buying, I've heard this, I've heard that. And right now I am actively looking to buy.
Okay.
So what is the state of the housing market right now? And I'm in Novi, so I want somewhere out this way. But what's really going on?
The housing market is booming right now. It's absolutely crazy. Before, if you were house looking to get pre-approved or finance, you had a little bit of time. It's not like that at all. It's extremely aggressive. I have a lot of real estate friends, just seeing their posts, and even me being in the housing market. When I was looking for a house a couple times too, people are being bid out. You don't have time to make an appointment, look at the house, and then, take a couple days to make a decision. Because I can almost assure you by the time you go and look at another house, there's already 10 offers on that one house that you actually looked at. Not only that, these people are actually overbidding. So say, for example, if you find a house that's listed for $200,000, these people are going above and beyond the list price just to make sure that they actually get that house. So it's extremely aggressive.
And would you say that's because the Detroit housing market is kind of international, where people from different countries are now looking to buy property, like the homes that people left behind, and and then I guess, what is it, like gentrification came in and people are really coming in. I want to say companies are coming in to buy property more so than individuals are buying property. Would you say so, or what do you think that's?
Actually, no, because I sit on a number of community boards, a number of those conversations. Planning and development, we look at all of those numbers. Truthfully, a lot of people that are buying the houses in Detroit are us. It's a lot of times too, you may have people that are doing, relocation and things of that nature, but we looked at the numbers and, it's actually people that are moving back to the city. It may appear like it is gentrification, but a great percentage of that is, really just us, people coming back to the city because they like what they see, what's going on, in the city. They want to be a part of that. So, a very, very, very large percentage of those people moving back to the city are actually already here.
So what I have, one of my very close friends is in the middle of rehabbing a house from the land bank.
Yeah.
And he gets a cold call 6-digit cash offer for a house in the North End. It's at Cameron and Kniff. At least once a day. And if he's actually on the property working that day, like outside and obviously doing something, he gets 3 phone calls.
Yeah.
Now, some of these companies are foreign holding, out of country holding companies, but I mean, honestly, it's a wide variety, like you said, of not just development companies, but people looking for houses to move back in. And there's a I want to say a 1,500 square foot place, maybe a block away, that just sold for just over $200,000.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And to a family that's moving in. So it's interesting, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's great that you mentioned the land bank. I have an extensive history with the land bank. I actually used to work there, and just to kind of help get an understanding, again, people used to always say, well, those houses are being reserved for a certain group of people. Those houses are being reserved for, investors. A lot of people don't understand that those are the ones that were actually blocked. There was certain laws and regulations actually put in place to make sure that Detroiters got first bid and got first dibs on those houses.
Wow.
Now, do investors, come and buy properties? Yes. I mean, I would be foolish to sit here and say that they don't. But again, the majority of those properties are people, that were tired of renting, people that were tired of living in the suburbs. They saw something, they wanted to take advantage of it, and they did.
Yep.
So let me ask an obscure question. What's the possibility of buying some parking spots downtown?
It depends on where it is. It depends on the previous owner. It depends on the current owner. Those tend to be a little bit more difficult than a house just sitting on a parcel. So you really got to do your due diligence and looking to see just that ownership chain. Of course, you have to get title and go through that particular process. So I can't say that, you take 1, 2, 3, step 4 and 5, and then this is how you get it. I will say it's a much difficult process just to get a parking lot, especially downtown. That's a highly sought after, parcels and stuff downtown. So yeah, it's not cookie cutter. Yeah. Those are your more pristine, high value parcels that everyone is looking to purchase. Everyone wants a parcel downtown. So
and property by the water.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I woke up the other morning to what do you call that, information TV or whatever, how the infomercials or whatever. Mm-hmm. And when I woke up, they were talking about people, they were able to take people's titles, steal their title to their home. I saw that. I was amazed by this. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen.
So I really kind of didn't want to get into that, but just to give an high level or really low level summary of how that works. So this particular municipal owns the property. Right? You have a certain amount of time to bring that house to productive use. You actually sign documentation in your closing documents to say that if you do not finish in this allotted amount of time, guess what's going to happen? We're going to take it back. A lot of people don't read. A lot of people don't read that part. So, I get a lot of people, they always ask questions like, well, they just taking houses. It's just yeah, but you have to do your due diligence. Read the material. Yes, everybody wants to make money. Yes, everybody wants a piece of the pie. We can go and ask questions about everything else, but the stuff that actually matters. Yeah. If you do not, if real estate is foreign to you, go and talk to a real estate agent. Go and ask questions with the title company. They'll tell you. They would perhaps even show you the documents that you actually sign at closing. It's not hidden. It's against the law to hide stuff like that. But read it.
Thanks, Elise. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break so we can hear from one of our advertisers real quick, and we're gonna come right back. Here.
Sure. Is this questions in the chat box?
No, not for you.
Oh, okay.
Etc. Assistant LLC was created to provide virtual and personal services to individuals looking to become more productive and to lend a helping hand to those seeking assistance as a lifestyle manager. A few services include administrative support, customer relations management, concierge services, notary, and transportation. You can contact Tiffany Nance at 313-771-4628 or at www.etcassistant.com. And now back to the show.
So, Elise, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How do you know a reputable real estate agent? I mean, this is something I've been thinking about for a long time. Because everybody right now is scamming. Everybody, everywhere is trying to make a buck. Mm-hmm. So, how do you? I mean, what do you look for when you look for a reputable real estate agent?
Well, you know what? Because I've been in this industry for a very long time, I know a lot of them. You got to do your homework. I mean, even, you know, with me being an investor, I have my own real estate agent. You know, even though a lot of these transactions I can do it myself, you know, I've been to real estate school. I've actually been a real estate agent myself, but you know, I have one particular real estate agent that I go to just for everything. Now, if someone is actually looking for one, there's kind of like a real estate white pages, if you will. You can actually look them up. You can go to the state of Michigan. You can look up their license. You can look to see if they have any complaints. Go to their social media page. Look at the information that they are actually posting. Get in contact with some of their past clients. A lot of them, you know, have some really good social media platforms, and they have testimonials and things like that. It's not illegal to contact, you know, a previous client. And, you know, I'll also put myself out there too. I get tons of questions on real estate, the land bank, the city. I mean, just finances, period. If you need help, I'm always here to help. You know, you can follow me on, you know, Instagram at AliseJS1111, or, you know, friend me on Facebook, Elise Nicole. Ask me any question that you want to. So if you just need help, I have no problem with referring people. I have a really good network of real estate agents that I trust. They've been in the business just as long as I have. They're not trying to scam anybody. They really just want to help the community and help, you know, people just achieve their housing goals. And that's it.
That's awesome. The question I have for you, Elise, is about, I guess, you know, when it comes to home ownership, there can be many projects or things that you might want to do to your home. And I know because you're involved in some funding, are there any funding programs for anything like that for people that are homeowners that are looking to get some help with, you know, upkeep of their homes? I've heard of some like where they put second mortgages on your house and things like that program. And it seems that even in that scenario, that all the money is gone. It's like as soon as you find out that it's out there, you call to inquire, you find out that all the funds have been exhausted.
Well, here's the thing, and that's a really, really, really great question, and I'm so glad that you asked that question too. So, even going back to PPP, a lot of people was just like, well, you know what, I'm not going to qualify because all the money is gone. That's not true. Really what happened is that you know about this, but you failed to follow up. Everything has a deadline. Everything, even the funds that are allocated for home repair. And I'm saying this because just for PPP alone, I had a task force team in 3 major states. I had one in Michigan, I had one in Chicago, and Minneapolis. Now, the one in Michigan was dedicated to the city of Detroit, which means that all the money, a portion of the money that Michigan got was allocated for the city of Detroit. We did 15 million in PPP funds. So you can't say that all the money is gone. You just didn't apply. You had that. I mean, if you knew about it, again, you can call and ask questions about the deadline. Those deadlines are very, very, very hard deadlines. I mean, you know, we like to wait until the last minute or think, okay, well, if I do it at 12 midnight when they say that the deadline has ended, that they'll let me in. No, you have to think about there's millions of other people that are in need. It's not just you. It's not just you. So, you know, you have to be responsible. So if you want this money, trust me, it's tons of money out here. I can't tell you, oh my God, I can't tell you there's a number of I mean, it's like the government is giving stuff away. I mean, I've done a lot of technical assistance to where, I mean, we didn't have enough businesses. There wasn't enough homeowners to actually take this money. So it's not like that the government does not want to see you succeed. So in regards to home buying, a lot of people don't know that banks are mandated. They are mandated to lend to Black and brown communities and Black and brown people. They are scored on a CRA scorecard, Community Reinvestment Act. If they do not fulfill their CRA requirements, guess what? They're going to get hit with, oh my God, millions of dollars in fines. So you guys want to see why all of these banks and stuff are, you know, being bought up? A lot of it has to do with they are not lending to the Black and brown community, to the minority community. They want to give this stuff away.
Talking about lending for real estate, lending for personal loans, general lending, or we just talking about, is there a certain category that they would have to apply for or no?
No. So in regards to housing, you know, again, down payment assistance is still available. People can get it. You know, I've been a loan officer too. I've actually written these loans to where I've written a loan to where someone got like $40,000 that they never have to pay back. All you have to do is just live in the house. The same thing with these SBA loans. You know, all of my small businesses, especially, you know, the women that are, you know, creating these businesses are in business for themselves. They have SBA loans, particularly for Black women. It's there. It's there. It's free money. It's free money.
Go ahead. Credit wise to get those loans through the SBA?
No. All you have to do is make sure that your documentation is in order. So again, I keep referencing PPP because this was a huge thing, right? Yeah. So a lot of the small businesses, even in the city of Detroit, their documentation is not in order. So I get if you're a startup, you know, you're just doing something just to get you by, but you should not still be doing payroll on Cash App. You should not be doing payroll on Zelle. Come on, stop it. File your business taxes. There's actually more tax write-offs for businesses.
Recording in progress.
Than it is for if you do your personal taxes. There's actually over 400 business tax credits that you can actually get just for filing your business tax returns. 400. Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? And a lot of people miss out on this money because their documentation is not in line. It's horrible. I should not have to instruct anyone on how to do an income statement. Why are you doing payroll through PayPal and Zelle? Why are you not filing your business tax returns? How come you don't know what a 940 or a 941 is?
Wow. I don't know what it is.
Me either.
Well, you know what? That's why we are having this conversation. You know, really, my job, I don't tell people what to invest in. Like, we're not talking about crypto and NFTs and stuff like that. My job is to, you know, basically put you on the right path to success. You know, wealth is health. You have to know how to manage what you have in order to get more.
Yeah,
you have to change your mindset. We have somebody
wanted to start a small business right now, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, they're gonna go get the LLC, they're gonna get the paperwork in order, that kind of thing, right? But what would the first steps that you would encourage them to do, like right off the bat?
Really, right off the bat, something real easy. And this is something that I do. The other thing too, I will never tell anyone something that I haven't done myself. Hire your kids. My kids have businesses of their own and they work for me. And I pay them and use that as a tax write-off. You don't have to have millions of dollars to have a startup business. Everyone should have a side hustle. Everyone should have a home-based business. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. If you selling dinners, great. If you doing a t-shirt business, a hoodie business, I have a friend that she blings out everything. She blings out cups. She blings out shoes. Everybody should have a hustle. Everybody.
Fun
you
fact.
don't need a lot of money in order to do that. You don't.
Fun
but
fact.
Taking the right steps,
Getting
your LLC, getting it registered with Laura, getting your EIN, your employee identification number with the IRS, that's the next step. Now take those documents and go to the bank. Go get you a business account. Start building your business credit. Now I can't tell you who to go to, but I would say these department stores, these like small department stores, go get a business credit card in that department. That's how you start to build generational wealth. That's how you start to build business credit as well. You don't need millions of dollars. You really don't.
So Alese, you said take your look. I'm listening. She said, no, and we and Christians kind of went through this when we filed for the Real Nonsense podcast, our LLC, and I did it for mine. So, and on that document, it has a number on it. Doesn't it have an EIN on that document that we filed with the state, or that's a different number?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Alese.
No, you actually have to file for that EIN with the IRS. So when you are registering with Laura, that's just to register like, hey, I have a new business. Here's the name. Here's the type of business, whether if it's going to be a single member, LLC, if it's going to be a corporation, how many people do you have? That's what the registration is for with Laura, with the state of Michigan. Two totally different entities, two totally different processes. So people can actually go to Laura and say, okay, well, I've started my business. I have my name. My name is registered. No one else has this name, but that's not the final step.
Right. The next step is to go to the IRS and get the EIN number. Then you said take those documents and open up your business account.
Yes.
And then apply for a small, like department store, maybe credit cards, just to build up your business credit.
So you just take your paper from Laura.
Is basically your business social security number. So that EIN number is what's being used, not your personal social security number. So I don't think everybody understands how to actually utilize business credit as its own entity. Even I am still kind of like wanting to understand how that works, because a lot of people actually kind of get a brand new start just by using their business name and doing it under their business. But isn't that easy? At least just getting those documents and going to the bank and open up an account, and then I can just take that EIN number and go get a credit card?
Yeah, pretty much. Now you may not. Now here's the thing: you can get it, but your limits won't be high, which is fine. You have to build. You have to build credit. You have to show, that you're responsible with what it is that, the company that you're actually seeking money from, you're responsible. So, I mean, if your personal credit is jacked up, okay, that's fine. We can work on that. But don't think, okay, well, because I have my business credit, I'll just start doing everything over there. And then you transfer those bad habits that got you the bad credit in the first place. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I agree.
Yeah. So, again, it's really just about changing your mindset, wanting to do things differently, seeking help. I do these financial literacy classes all the time. And when everyone, go ahead.
I just want to understand, because we kind of just started talking, and I really want to go back and talk about the nuggets of what it is that you actually do, because financial literacy is one of them. Real estate is one of them. Then you sit boards to make decisions about community projects. So I kind of want to set off and talk about everything that you do and not just mesh it all together.
Sure.
So let's kind of talk about everything individually. Let's talk about your financial literacy portion first.
Sure.
Sure,
Absolutely.
Before you do that, I want to have Eric. We got one more. We got a couple more advertising. That's what pays our bills, right?
So, right.
You gotta pay the bills.
So yeah, that's a really good, and I was really just trying to squeeze everything in because it is so much. I have a lot. I mean, you know, and like I said, you know, I've been trying to just touch on stuff that I see a lot of the questions, but I mean, I'm really glad that you're asking, like you're really asking some really good questions. And, you know, if you guys just want to talk offline more particular about your business, we can definitely, you know, we can definitely do that. But yeah, but really I just want to make sure that everyone, because I still have the same questions, but no one still understands.
Hold on, Alese, because he's trying to. No, we can't hear you, Eric. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. I'm not sure if I pushed a button and screwed things up. So yeah, no. I just didn't want to interrupt you guys.
No,
but
we supposed to be doing the ad thing.
Well,
right?
I wanted to just remind everybody that Untouchable Landscaping and Snow Removal is a high quality company that, this might shock you, does landscaping and snow removal. They are reliable, they are dependable, and their phone number is 313-694-5658. And that's it.
All right. Untouchable Snow Removal and Landscaping.
That's right.
Good.
They have who has a really intense logo for a snow removal company.
It is.
I have to say, I've seen a lot of really mediocre logo work done for snow removal companies, and no, if they take their snow removal and landscaping as seriously as they take their logo, I'm saying you might actually want to make this phone call.
Absolutely.
So, real quick, they are saying that we are really not behind the scenes. They can actually hear us talk.
Oh no, they should hear us talk. We're live.
Oh, okay.
We're live. This is all live. There's no recording here. This is live. So Alese, getting back to Mel's point about the
financial literacy,
the buckets that you're in.
Yeah.
Going back to that point, so that our audience can be very clear as to if they want to reach out to you, what is it that they can reach out to you for?
Oh, for a number of things. I do credit repair. If someone just wants that one-on-one conversation, you know, they'll just hit me up just to say, you know what, Alese, I really need help. I'm serious about building credit. I'm serious about buying a house. I'm serious about, you know, just going to the next level. They would actually just contact me. We'll do a consultation, and everything is personalized. You know, every time someone contacts me, it's not that I'm giving them, you know, what I've done for someone else. Everyone's situation is unique. So it's a unique plan. It's a unique financial plan or housing plan that is specific to their needs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's a lot of what I do. You know, I have a lot of people that come and ask questions, different questions about real estate, about savings, about wealth building, about the land bank, about, you know, the city treasurer, paying taxes, you know, tax foreclosures. I mean, anything pretty much dealing with real estate and finances. Those are the questions that I get a lot.
Well, Alese, I actually have a question from Tiffany Nance. She wants to know, how can you be contacted?
Oh, sure. You can contact me on my Instagram page. Just DM me at Alese JS, ALE as in elephant, S as in Sam, E as in elephant, J like Jaguar, S as in Sam, 1111. If you're not on Instagram, you can contact me on Facebook at Alese Nicole, ALESE NICOLE, and just
And
contact
she
me
is
there,
super
and we can just
responsive.
go from there. Yep,
And she's super responsive.
I am.
Super
I
responsive.
am. That's one thing that I learned with being in this industry. You know, a lot of people just get frustrated because no one contacts them back. No, I respond. So as you're typing your question, I'm already responding like, yes, how can I help you? Absolutely.
I love it.
That's amazing. So just to reiterate, so financial literacy does include credit repair, right? It includes, or no, let's go back to that. Financial
Sure.
literacy.
So financial literacy, I mean, it encompasses a lot. You know, I have a lot of housing nonprofits that call upon me to actually do their financial literacy classes. So it just depends. You know, I do a lot of housing financial literacy. So really, how to buy a house. So everything that involves, you know, buying a house. We talk about credit. We talk about how to choose a real estate agent. We talk about, you know, title. We talk about how to get an inspection. Not only that, we talk about what to do afterwards. So it's an 8-hour class. It's a very intense class, but it's really, really, really good information. And a lot of people don't know, you take a home buyer education class, that's what actually qualifies you to get down payment assistance, $10,000. So
Yeah.
it's beneficial for you to take those classes. You know, I've done financial literacy for a lot of universities that just want to teach their students, especially like foreign students, about like checking and savings accounts. So it's not so much just credit. You know, a lot of people still don't understand how a checking account really works. A lot of people don't understand how a savings account works. So, you know, really, I can't say everything financial, but a lot of it has to do with just our mentality, checking savings accounts, credit, how we manage money, our daily lives. So, yeah.
It sounds like something that what you bring to the table is a niche of kind of the simple basic things that people kind of overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, how does a checking account work? How does a savings account work? How do you build business credit? How do you repair your own credit? How do you establish your business and your business name? And then how do you get funding for it? So it sounds like you're like the central or the nucleus to everything going on. And it's kind of, you have a niche in everything in a sense.
Yeah, and you know that just comes from experience. It comes from experience. You know, I started off in this industry not even knowing what I wanted to do. You know, I got started very, very, very young. But not only that, I had people to actually invest in me too, that really sat me down and said, listen, you know what, you got a lot of drive, go here. They really gave me some really, really, really good sound advice that really helped me to this day. And I really just took what I learned and just continued to build upon that. So, you know, I literally started from the bottom. I don't even think it was a thing called the bottom, you know, when I first started off. But, you know, that pretty much increased to now doing you know, urban planning and community development and small business development. So, you know, just having that financial background, I mean, it can go a long way. It can go a long way.
And that's happy that you said something about that hood. And so like Habitat for Humanity. I always thought that was a wonderful program where people came together and kind of help people that were aspiring homeowners to actually obtain it, then help them build the house. And it was always like just so like kind of like emotional to watch a new family go into a home. But again, going back to HUD and those programs, and I saw that you had like you're on the board for MISHDA and things like that. And so there are just programs and things that are just involved in those programs that regular people just don't know about unless they talk to someone like you or go to a website. And unfortunately, people don't like to read that much.
They
so it's
don't.
kind of, you know, like you said, they can miss out on these fundings and these programs. And so it would be good to, like, even now, you know, I know that there was funding for people in Detroit. One of the suburbs in Detroit is Highland Park. And Highland Park didn't get the same access to those funds as Detroit residents got. And so, you know, maybe somebody like you would know a way around that, maybe for Highland Park residents, because I know that there are a lot of people. I said on the Chamber of Commerce for the Chamber for Highland Park. And so, they're trying to do a lot of things in the city, but it's just kind of hard because of the government that's separated from it. Not to take it to go off course with that subject, but I know that those are some of the things that maybe you've seen where funding is only available in certain areas in the city. No? Well,
Nope.
come on and enlighten me then, Alese.
It's available for everyone, and it's funny that you mentioned Highland Park because I've had extensive conversations with that same Chamber of Commerce, and I actually used to sit on that board too. But I also did a lot of work, in Highland Park. The same opportunity that's available for Detroit or Southfield, Oak Park, it's available for everyone. I'm going to tell you, the reason why a lot of municipals miss out is because, again, the same reason why a lot of people miss out on PPP. There's hard deadlines. There's documents and stuff that you need to file.
Gotcha.
But again, there's actually a lot of different tax credits that small cities or small municipals like Highland Park, they're set aside for that. It's specifically for those small counties. But people have to do their due diligence, make sure that their paperwork is in order.
Yeah.
Again, it's go ahead.
I want to ask you a question about something you mentioned a while back. Down payment assistance, I think that you mentioned. Is that what it was? Okay. Yep. And I think the amount you said was like $10,000, something like that.
It's the minimum. It's the minimum, depending upon the municipal. So she mentioned Highland Park. When NSP, the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, this was around like 2010-ish, and they were building up those new houses in Highland Park. Really, the majority of those houses in Highland Park, I helped fund, and every last one of them got down payment assistance. Every last one of them. And that particular program existed across the entire nation. It no longer exists right now, but it was offered to everyone. So now, the state of Michigan, MISTA, they have their own down payment assistance program to where you can get $10,000 and never have to pay that money back. That money never runs out. Never. Even
now, does that depend on what city you're actually buying the house in?
Nope. No. So really, remember when we got the census information and everyone was like really campaigning, like, fill this information out, fill this card out. That's really what determines whether or not you are actually eligible for that money. Also too, it depends upon your location, but really the bulk of that comes from your own personal like income, what you're able to handle. So say, for example, if you want to live in Novi, as you mentioned. So Novi is categorized as like a high income or high, neighborhood, but you may fall into the category to get down payment assistance because your personal income is below that income median for that particular neighborhood or subdivision or even municipal. Does that make sense? So Absolutely. Really, you can qualify two ways. You can qualify based upon the location. There are certain locations, and it doesn't have to be, like the boroughs or anything like that. There are certain areas that are low to moderate income areas, right? So that automatically qualifies you. But let's just say, you're going outside of that. You qualify by your income. So you can go to a high income area, but still fall below that medium income for that particular neighborhood. So the census information, that's really where we gather that data at to determine, this is a hardest hit neighborhood. This is, this particular municipal should actually get X amount of dollars. This particular municipal is facing more hardship than anyone else. So that's pretty much how the money is decided, but it doesn't exclude a municipal from actually getting money. Everybody gets money. It just depends on how much they actually get.
This is, I'm really excited about. No, I mean, seriously, it's good to talk to people who really understand and really know and are really willing to educate those who are illiterate about certain things because, it's good to talk to an expert. It's good
Yeah.
with experience and who knows what's going on. We're gonna hear from one of our advertisers, Jared Davis Photography.
It's true. Jared Davis Photography is the finest professional photographer services of all types in the metropolitan Detroit area. Contact Jared Davis Photography, where we make the magic the world will want to see. Phone number is 567-343-1980. Back to you, Chris.
So Alese,
Yes.
let me ask you a question, right? So
Sure.
in this business, we talk about demographics, we talk about these type of things, right? So now you are a African American woman in this area. So has this been a difficult struggle from you from the beginning? Has it gotten better for you business wise? Does it depend on what area you in, what city you're in?
For me,
Reality show actually about women real estate agents on, I forgot what channel that's on.
Selling Tampa.
Yeah, boom, there we go.
I watched all one setting. I mean, I literally watched it. It was good. I liked it. Did you like it, Alese?
Did you see it?
she kind of froze up a little bit.
Oh,
Did
we're back.
you Selling Tampa?
No, I don't watch it. I've heard about it. I am probably going to watch just a couple episodes just to kind of see what's going on. But I'm gonna say, the economy and everything that's going on in the world, of course, I'm affected by it. I'm not going to sit here and say that, my life has been, all roses and peaches. I've had my time where I've actually been down and out. My experience comes from, just really the experience and just wanting to have more knowledge, and also people pouring into me. I would say really my life is based upon a couple things. I have a really good prayer life. That's what helped me out tremendously, to where, what's going on in the economy doesn't necessarily affect me. And not only that, I give back a lot too. And that goes a lot with, just building wealth. If people want to know, how come their business is not moving, how come their personal life is not moving, it's because you're not giving back. I gave back and still continue to give back even when I didn't have it. And even in relation to, this financial literacy class, I got nothing to sell you. I'm not on here promoting a book. I'm not saying, take one of my classes for, $7.99, some, ridiculous price. If that's your thing, then more power to you. When you contacted me, you guys contacted me like, hey, come and do this class. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't look for anything monetary in everything that I do. Money is always going to come. It really is. And it comes, and, just when you think that you're down on your luck and, you can't see your way out, I promise you, it always comes back in return, and it always comes back sevenfold, tenfold than what you actually put out. This is my give back to the people, because I see us struggling a lot. And it's like, okay, come on. It's 2022 now.
Yeah.
We should not still have these habits right now in 2022. We have to do better.
It's interesting you said all that, because one of the things that we've been trying to do through this platform is to build a community of like-minded individuals with similar goals and ambitions, who have businesses and talents and skills that can unify and work collectively together. And look back at our shows that Melody and I have done over the last, we're at show number 50 now, something like that. So if you look back at our guests, all of them have these unique talents, and we want to uplift that. We want to uplift them. We want to put it out. We want people to know, because we have a lot of people who someone could say, they know everybody, but they still don't know one other person, right?
Yep.
And it's that one other person that can make a difference. So we're glad that you're here, because I think what you're saying and what you're offering and what you're talking about is extremely valuable in this particular climate that we're in now, because people are hurting, people are struggling, and people are looking for a way out and a way up. And so any type of information that they can get is going to provide that type of movement and mobility for them is valuable. It's valuable for me because I've been sitting here listening to like, hey, Melody and I, when I met Melody does retirement services. And hey, listen, I didn't hesitate. I said, put me on a 10-year track so I can retire in 10 years. My beard is white. I want to be out the game. And Melody said, listen, this is how it works. This is what you do. Bing, bam, done. And my wife, the skeptic, signed the insurance policy as well. So I'm all for that. We need to look at our businesses that we have, look at our opportunities that we can offer each other, and take advantage of those opportunities and work with each other to build this generational wealth. Because all the knowledge is here. It's there. We're just not utilizing it. We're not working together.
Nope.
And what Alese is saying and what I can attest to is that we have to position ourselves to do business for each other and be in business with each other. So if we're going to do, and I'm operating with the spirit of excellence, then I want to partner with another company that has the spirit of excellence as I do. Also, Alese talked about just having a moral compass and not everything being monetized or for sale. You know, being open to just answering questions or just presenting yourself as a resource. And I think the more and more you do that, it's really about relationships at this point, because now we have a synergy. And so now I'm working with educators, but and Alese is working with the conglomerates that she's working with. At some point in time, I'm going to know somebody that needs her services. And at some point in time, she's going to need somebody that needs my services. And we can build, just kind of, our own small empires just by utilizing each other and not going outside of our communities to do it. And then also giving each other the honor and respect that they deserve, because everybody has their own lane. So Alese has her lane. I have my lane, and so everybody essentially is just coming together and we're just using our resources. And I think it's a phenomenal thing that we're doing just by bringing everybody together. And hopefully through and by these podcasts, people can go back and maybe use as a resource and get information, or say, hey, Andre Ebron is at the, United Way. How can Alese and Andre do something together? Because I know that they have fun. It's just all type of stuff going on. So we just have to keep the dialogue going, keep our communication going, so that we can stay in touch with each other and stay abreast of everything that each other is doing, and then abreast of what's out there. Because I definitely want to talk to Alese about, just home ownership, funding for homeowners, funding for, like she said, for women in business, minority women in business. Talk about how to fund your business and things like that. Those is a wealth of information that we just need to get. And it sounds like we've just talked about a tip of the iceberg of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten the depth of what's really available.
Yeah.
It's true.
And, I do this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Eric?
Oh, no. I wanted you to speak to what Mel just said, but I want to take the conversation in a completely different direction right at the end, so we don't get sidetracked with it.
Okay.
So basically, what I want you to do, Alese, is I want you to tell me why this idea is a bad one. Okay.
Okay.
So the word reparations, the word reparations has been thrown around a lot, and not just in popular culture.
Now.
Yeah, but in the halls of power, like it's been in speeches and stuff. It's a word again. I have a crazy idea, because there's 23andMe and Ancestry.com and all these different genetic DNA databases that are going up, and it's giving us a very clear picture of who everybody's parents were a long time ago, right? And I think that if you can trace your family lineage back to either the indigenous people or being owned as slaves in America,
stopped.
You get an LLC for free with a weird magic wand waved, like the maximum credit rating. Whatever it is, you can just fiddle with the numbers and make it what it is. And that's it. There's no cash in the front. And I mean, maybe this is a bad idea. I'm hoping you'll be just off the top of your head can think of why it would be.
Um, that's a really good. I've never had this question asked before. There's a lot to digest, and there's a lot to dissect. There's a lot of different moving parts in your question. Um, and if I'm understanding you correctly, basically you're saying that if you trace back to like your lineage or your history, and it shows that your ancestors or what have you came from a particular uh, group or what have you, then here's, instead of the monetary, like a large lump sum of money, here's what we'll be able to give you. As you mentioned, the LLC and some other things. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, what I'm wondering is will that destabilize the business credit world, or will it devalue having an LLC and dilute it in some way to the point where it actually hurts people who came in the front door, cash in hand, ready to do business?
I don't think so. A lot of people don't know that having an LLC, like, it's very affordable to
Right.
actually have that done. I don't think that it's going to move the needle either way. You can't have too many small businesses. Like, it's not going to affect anything. What are they doing with those small businesses? How are they operating? That's really going to be able to tell whether or not if they have an effect on the economy or their community group, or I mean, wherever they are actually doing business. So a lot goes into that. I mean, again, I have several different business names, so it doesn't necessarily, I'm not going to say that it doesn't mean anything. You can have as many names as you want to. Okay, what are you doing with it? What are you doing
Right.
with it? So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think that it's necessarily going to affect the affect it like how you think. It has some small effect, but not anything major.
Okay.
To where it's going to harm anyone, or it's really going to cause some outbreak or what have you. I don't think so. But to answer your question, I think that it's a wonderful idea. Um, but at the same token, it's like you would give someone a business name, but what are they doing with it?
Oh,
Um,
at the end of the day, you still have to get up and take care of business and educate yourself on how to operate. But also at the end of the day, the Cricut machine that makes coffee mugs is like $200. The blanks aren't that expensive. You can get graphic design work done at Fiverr for cheap. You can just start like we were talking about earlier about the how the floor for starting a business keeps coming down and down and down. Like, if you don't have a side hustle on top of a side hustle, you're doing it wrong. And I think that this would give people who have that mindset but don't necessarily can't see the finish line, so they don't start the race. But otherwise have all of the skills they would need in order to be successful business people. Maybe this is just I don't know. This would get people up and at it, and sometimes that's all people need is a kick in the pants.
I mean, and that's true, but at the same time, if we're still having a conversation about credit and about savings, I mean, I don't know that it would necessarily help, because we don't have good stewardship over the things that we already have, and the things that we have somewhat of knowledge about. So it's like, okay, yeah, you can give me a business, you can give me a LLC, you can give me this, but if I'm still struggling with how to save money, if I'm still struggling with how to build credit, not only build credit, but if I'm still struggling to actually understand credit, what is that business going to do?
That's
It's
right.
not really going to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And so I'm so happy that we had you on today, at least because at least that opens up the door for there's one phrase that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And certainly you are the teacher. And so students and just people, and just in general, need to be able just to say, hey, I don't understand this. I don't know this. Can you help me? And so I'm so happy that you're on. At least restate again your contact information. We have less than a minute left, and I just want to make sure that we end with your contact information, so that anybody listening can contact you, and also be able to utilize your services.
Sure, absolutely. And thank you so much again for the opportunity. One of the things that I always say is that, you can never say that no one provided this information for you. No one. You can never say that people were charging, X amount of dollars. This information was free. People are charging like thousands of dollars for the information that I actually just gave to you. So if you're looking for more information, I do personal consultations. We can talk about financial plans, whatever you want to talk about. You can always hit me up on Instagram at Alese JS. That's ALESE, J as in Jaguar, S as in Sam, 1111, and my page is open. Or you can hit me up on Facebook at Alese Nicole, Alese ALESE, Nicole NICOLE on Facebook. Just DM me, private message me, ask all your questions. I'm always here to help.
All right, and that's the Real Nonsense Podcast with Chris and Mel. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace out.
Bye.